Boom, 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 Chanker. How's it going, everyone? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United, just with a little random video for you. I've got about 20 minutes just to sort of talk about and preview the Leicester City game on Saturday. Of course, we're coming up against the Foxes in the Premier League after the international break. It's a ridiculously tough fixture for Manchester United, this one, after everything that's been going on at United, after the shoddy start we've had under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the Premier League. This is a really tough game to come back to. And do you know what makes it even more tough? We've got to win the bloody game. If we don't win this game, then it's panic stations at United. It really is. The emphasis is on winning the game. Anyway we can do that is the most important thing. The biggest problem we've got at the moment, though, is we have injury problems galore. Not helped by the fact that United didn't strengthen enough in certain key areas in the summer transfer window. So blame those pesky Glazers for this. Blame that potato head Woodward for this situation we're in now. Because if you get certain key injuries to key players at key times, like this right now, then you're going to see problems occur, unfortunately. And if you look at the injury problems Manchester United do have right now, I mean, it's not great. It doesn't bode well for the game against Leicester on Saturday, simply because, some of our key players are currently out injured. Probably one of the most horrible injuries that could have occurred for us, or biggest misses that we could have right now, is actually Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Even though he's only 21 years of age, and he's a new signing for us, obviously, he's probably one of our most key men because he barely puts a foot wrong. He's absolutely solid as a rock. Nobody gets past him, and he's been an inspiration since coming to United. Same with Daniel James. Obviously, he's available to play, which is fantastic. Hopefully, he's going to get the nod and play this game. Surely he will, based on the injury problems we do have. But Aaron Wan-Bissaka is a doubt for the game. Pulled out the England squad. Same with Jesse Lingard. Ha! Doesn't really bother the situation too much, does it? Jesse being injured. In fact, it's probably a good thing. That's harsh to say, but you know what I mean? Like, for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because he's going to have to select a team now without Jesse Lingard. He's favoured Jesse Lingard a lot recently. He's been putting him in there, not based on form. Don't know what it's really based on, but he's been putting Jesse Lingard in there. And Jesse's been coming in and stinking up the place and doing a pretty piss-poor job of it, let's be honest now. So the fact that he had to pull out from the England squad and he's injured right now, it actually probably benefits United. And it probably takes a little bit of the pressure away from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the sense that, it's blooding these younger players. If they come in there and have a poor performance, it falls down on him at the end of the day. But with injury problems, it sort of forces Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's hand, if you like, to go and put some of these younger talents in there. Some of the other injury problems we've got at the moment, Paul Pogba's a doubt for the game. Came back from France duty with an ankle injury, so he's probably not going to be featuring in the game. Again, for me, probably a bonus. Look, I know people say he's our best midfielder, and on paper he is, and when he turns up he is, but consistently from a week-to-week basis, doesn't really do the business for me to a high enough standard for United. So I think it's a great opportunity for somebody, some young, hungry lad to come in there, whether it's Garner or whoever, I don't know. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can put them in there and they'll get an opportunity in this game if Pogba's not playing. Now, if Pogba is fit, then Pogba will be playing, of course, because he is our most important midfielder, if you like. Who else is injured for United? So let's just have a look at this list. Oh yeah, Luke Shaw. Obviously, he was injured out for a while previously, which meant that Ashley Clunge had to come in. That's not good. So I'm hoping Luke Shaw is back from injury to feature in this game. Although, like I say, he is probably our weakest link in defence. And then the other player that's, of course, hopefully going to be coming back will be Anthony Martial. I think it's one of our most key players this season, and we really missed him in the last game when he picked up a knock and he wasn't able to feature, and we had to put Rashford up there. Well, we didn't actually have to put Rashford up there. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer decided to move Rashford from the out wide position and put him up top there in the striker position, which didn't work out at all because Rashford was very, very poor there in the last game. So what I'm hoping Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will do in this game, if there is no Anthony Martial, and that's only an if, hopefully he'll be fit to play in that game against Leicester. But hopefully what he will do is stick Greenwood in there. Unless there's something I don't know about, I think Greenwood should definitely be playing in this game. Now, injury problems aside, it's actually a really tough game for United anyway. Leicester are a good team. They've got good players. They've got, a good foundation there. Brendan Rodgers doing some good stuff. If you look where they are on the table right now, I think they're third. They're definitely doing a lot better than United. United are 8th in the table right now, which goes to show you the sort of form the two teams are in. You've got to take that into consideration. Last season, I think we did the double over Leicester. We beat them home and away. I believe so. But you've got to look at now. And now the current form of Manchester United is not as good as the current form of Leicester City's. We all know what happened with United in the opening 4 Premier League fixtures. If you don't know, I mean, in the last game, Leicester City beat Bournemouth 3-1. Really convincing performance from them. Before that, they beat Sheffield United 2-1 away from home, which we might not think is that big of a result, but Sheffield United are a bang up for it this season. They actually look like probably the best team from the Championship that's come up there. They're playing without fear. They're causing a couple of upsets, so that's actually a really good result. They drew away at Stamford Bridge with Chelsea 1-1, another great result from them, and they drew with Wolves, first game of the season, 0-0. So that's a good result as well, because Wolves are a decent team. So if you look at the start that Leicester City have had to the Premier League campaign compared to Manchester United's, it is seriously a cause for concern at Old Trafford. Because Leicester are a good team. If you look at the players they've got in there as well, it's a lot of those players, which you could never really previously say. I mean, maybe a couple, but a lot of those players would actually get into Manchester United's team right now. And there's people like James Maddison, who United have been talked about as being interested in, and certainly a player that I'd be interested in. If you're just talking about the ability to create, the ability to unlock a defence, the fact that he's homegrown, the fact that he's young, these are all things, the fact that he probably is a realistic player to acquire for Manchester United right now, because that's the biggest thing. A lot of players do not want to come to United at the moment. It's a rebuild job. We're in transition. There's lots of question marks hanging over the squad's head. Who'll be staying? Who'll be going? Will Ole Gunnar Solskjaer remain here much longer? Will United ever get back into fighting for the top spots in the Premier League? These are things that potential players coming to the club will absolutely be looking at and thinking, do you know what, maybe I'm just better off going to a Champions League team right now. So we're not fishing around in that market of the best players in Europe or the best players in the world. We're fishing around in the tier, or even the tier below that, which is the up-and-comers, which is the hungry players, which is the players who are ready to take the step up to the next level and prove something. And look, who's to say that James Maddison would even want to come to Manchester United in January or at the end of the season? I mean, let's see how United and Leicester are doing. Leicester are a good team. They're third in the table at the moment. If they have a really good run up until January, who knows? Maybe he will want to stay there. And even if he doesn't want to stay there, maybe he'll want to go to another club that would be interested in him and, and actually would provide him maybe the opportunity to get Champions League football, the opportunity to challenge for trophies and things like that, which I'm hoping United are going to do, in the next couple of years. But yeah, I mean, I'll get into your questions and stuff in a moment, guys. I can see there's a bunch of people tuning in live right now, so thank you very much for getting in here for this random sort of preview. I'm going to try and do these previews every single week for every single Premier League game. I know I've been doing rap previews and stuff like that, and I'm absolutely going to persevere and try and get a Fire in My Room rap diss track video online before the Leicester game, but I haven't started on it at all yet. I've just been unable to, so it's probably going to be shite and short this week, short and sweet, if it is going to be online anyway. So, but I thought I'd jump on. I've got 20 minutes, do a little preview of the Leicester game, tell you my concerns, tell you that at this moment in time, I am actually shaking in my boots a little bit about the prospect of playing Leicester City, which I've never ever been in that situation before. So that goes to tell you the situation United are in, the form that we're in, the injury problems we've got. I mean, I said it at the start of the season. I said if we get injuries to one or two key players at the wrong time, it's really going to cost us, because we don't have the depth in the squad to be able to deal with injuries to key players. It's like Martial. When Martial got injured, he's out for a couple of games. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has to mix the pack. He has to shuffle the pack. He's got to put Rashford up there, or bring Mason Greenwood in, a 17-year-old who would be relying on to do the job that Vardy's going to go and do for Leicester, an experienced Premier League player. We're just chucking a 17-year-old in there, which I'd rather do at this stage based on Rashford's previous performance up there. But still, it just goes to show you the lack of depth that United have, and it's actually a disgrace that we're in this situation already. Luke Shaw, left back, injured. Aaron Wan-Bissaka's injured. I think Diego Dallo's even injured. So I don't really know what's going to be happening at the back line for United. Of course, we've got Maguire. Of course, you've still got Lindelof, who scored in the international break. Don't know if you saw that goal from him. That's where we've been going wrong with Victor Lindelof. He's not a centre-back. He can't jump, he can't tackle, he can't clear the ball away, but he can stick the ball in the back of the net. He's basically a shorter version of Zlatan Ibrahimovic. No, that was a great finish from the lad, but you know, I personally don't want to see him near the squad in the next game. I think you should be playing players based on form. You should be selecting them based on their recent contributions and how they've looked. And unfortunately, Lindelof has made 2 key errors in 2 games running, and for me, deserves to have the opportunity taken away from him and maybe given to somebody like, you know, Twan Zebe or whoever. But yes, like the injury problems we've got, Luke Shaw's injured, Dalot, Wan-Bissaka, it's like, who are we going to actually have come in there now? Ashley Clunge is definitely going to play. That tells you what a sad state of affairs Manchester United are in at the moment, when you do actually have to have Ashley Clunge captain in your side out of necessity due to injuries. That shows you the lack of depth, it shows you the lack of quality, it shows you the skeleton squad that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is having to manage at the moment. But there's one big solution to this, lads and lasses, and that is for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to play the youth. We've been talking about this for a while now. The fans will give him a lot more of an easier time if we can see that we're trying to develop the youth, if we can see we're trying to go about it a certain way, and he's giving opportunities to young, hungry players, not just picking the same old dross every single week because their name's Paul Pogba, or the same old dross because their name's Jesse Lingard and he's a seasoned player on, you know, 6 figures a week and all this sort of stuff. No, that's wrong. We should be players based on form, but also based on, you know, the desire they've got to play for United at the moment. Because I think if he sticks in Angel Gomez there, or if he sticks in Chong, I don't think they're going to put in any worse performances than the lads have been doing recently. In fact, they'll probably really surprise a few people, because these young lads have got serious amounts of talent, especially people like Angel Gomez. I really want to see what he can do in the United shirt in the first team in the Premier League. You know, he looked really good pre-season. I don't get why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer hasn't selected him. Same goes for Greenwood. Amazing in pre-season, 17 years of age, all the talent in the world, young lad. Why haven't we seen more? Why haven't we seen barely? We've seen barely anything from him. Couple of late substitute appearances, which are all little too late. Don't have the time to do anything, don't have the time to garner that experience, no pun intended, because Garner's another player that I'd like to see come in and feature for Manchester United against Leicester City. Why not? He's young, he's looking really, really good, looking like a lot of talent. Could he do any worse than McTominay or Pogba has done recently in that role? I don't think so. Now, there's a lot of debate about Paul Pogba's best position. Will it be an issue this Saturday? Will he be fit? We're not sure about that. Probably not. So it gives an opportunity to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to shuffle the pack a little bit, give some of these younger lads the opportunities to come in there and stake a claim to Manchester United's starting 11. Now, in terms of the front line, what do I want to see? Well, listen, if Martial's fit, obviously I want to see Martial up top there, because I have been impressed with his movement, hold-up play, finishing ability and stuff like that, up in the striking role, and he's going to have to make that position his own this season. Daniel James, I mean, we've been playing him on the right and shifting him to the left. He can absolutely do both of those things, so I'm not really too sure where he'd start. But if you look at where he's had his best moments for Manchester United, it has been out on the wide left. It has been cutting in, it's been having shots, it's been taking it wide, beating men with his pace and whipping balls in and causing problems. And he's done that tremendously. He rightfully won, you know, the Player of the Month for Manchester United. Him and Wan-Bissaka, obviously, was a toss-up, but Daniel James definitely deserved it with the goals, with the tenacity he's shown, with the passion he's shown. 21 years of age, scored 3 goals in the Premier League already, but I think his best position has got to be out there on the left. If you look at what he's done, the way he's cut in, the way he's scored, he looks very, very dangerous there indeed. Potential Ryan Giggs replacement? Oh, I hope so. Welsh, of course, Welsh international. You might have seen his goal that he scored for Wales the other day as well, which was like a carbon copy of his second league goal that he scored for United, where he's cutting, and he's just placed it, curled it round the keeper into the top right-hand corner from outside the area. Fantastic goal from Daniel James. I'm so excited with the prospect of having this lad at the club. Hopefully he can continue as he has started at United. But listen, he's still young, he's still learning. Well, I'm not expecting him to be Ryan Giggs just yet, okay? He's going to have the off game here and there. We need senior players, we need other players around him to step up and prove that they deserve to be in the team as well, because look, it's one thing having a young squad, it's another thing when the 21-year-olds in the squad are like the talisman of your squad. That's wrong. Rashford had so much pressure on him in the last game. He's 21, he shouldn't have that pressure. He's doing good for a young lad, really. He needs to develop, he needs time to progress. but we're chucking him in there saying you've got to be the goal scorer now. You've got to get 25 goals. It is wrong. And Daniel James is a young lad. We can't expect to for him to perform every single week to that standard. He started hitting the ground running. That's absolutely fantastic. But if he's going to have an off game here and there, is all I'm saying. It's the Glazers' fault. It's the board's fault for not getting a bit more experience in during the summer transfer window. Oh, everybody who's tuning in here, I can see there's a bunch of you tuning in. Thanks very much for stopping by on the channel here today for the preview. Do us a favour, if you are in here in the live chat, get involved in the live chat. I'm going to go to it in a few minutes after I've stopped rambling and talking absolute cod. And chuck a like on this video. If you're in here as well, please do smack that like button and get your thoughts in and predictions in and things like that for the Leicester game on Saturday. Now, we've got to take Leicester seriously. Players like Maddison, players like Vardy. I mean, say what you want about Vardy. Vardy is a very, very good player in terms of getting behind defences, in terms of taking it wide and finding a teammate, in terms of finishing. Did you see that goal he scored the other day when he just lobbed the keeper? It was absolutely mesmeric. So you've got to take him seriously. He's always a problem. I mean, if you're talking about a player that United could do with right now, Jamie Vardy's definitely one of those. He is. United are lacking in those areas. We should have got a striking option in the summer transfer window because, we've one knocked in Martial. We've got Rashford being shuffled over to the striker position. If not that, we've got a 17-year-old Mason Greenwood, who's an unknown entity, if you like. So we could have absolutely done with somebody like Vardy coming in. Now, I know that's not realistic or whatever because he's just so big of a player for Leicester City. But I'm just telling you, he is a really good player and he probably will score against us. Okay, because Leicester are a good team. They are a really good counter-attacking side. They move it very, very quickly. Balls over the top, balls in behind, Jamie Vardy running onto it. They can cause us problems all day long. I know we did the double over them last season, but this is a different season. Leicester has started it well. They've got Maddison there, who's come on leaps and bounds, who is a really big creator for them. I think I'm right in saying he's created more chances over the last 10 months in the Premier League than any other player, or a clear-cut chance. I could be wrong there, but it goes to show you, if that is true, then that's the measure of the man right now. He's obviously a very good creative player for Leicester City. And when you've got a player like him, player like Vardy, it's difficult. And United have got defensive frailties right now, not just because of the injury problems, but we've seen some of the defensive frailties recently. Now, I'm happy generally with Harry Maguire coming in there. Lot of money, of course, lot of expectation, lot to deal with, lots of pressure on him as well. But I think he's done pretty well in a red shirt so far. Maybe not so well in an England shirt, but in a red shirt for United, he's actually looked pretty damn solid. So I'm pretty happy with him and playmaking from the back and all that sorts of stuff that we hoped he was going to do. He's done okay. Not set the world alight yet, but he's barely put a foot wrong, let's be honest. I mean, a couple of little instances here and there. Lindelof, on the other hand, last couple of games, he's been out-jumped, he's been outworked, he's been found out of position, and he's been lacking and wanting at United. So, to me, he doesn't really deserve to play in the next game, but he probably will, because he is the most experienced there, unless you're going to stick Twanzebe in there, which I'd actually really like to see. But then who do we play on the left? Ashley Young. Who are we playing on the right there? Who are we playing on the right there? Twanzebe, Phil Jones. I mean, it's getting filth. If Dallow's injured, if Wan-Bissaka's injured, who have we actually got there? So I'm really worried about the look to our defence going into this game against Leicester, because Leicester, one thing they can do well is attack, and the thing that United can't do so well at the moment, is defending. Right, let's get into your comments. Chuck a like on it. Let's see what you guys think about the game. Actually, I'll just give you my prediction before the game. It's a bold one. Look, I'm going for a 2-1 win to United, okay? I'm going for 2-1. I'm going for a Daniel James goal, and I'm going for a Rashford goal as well. Now, is that a rash choice? Maybe it is, but that's what I'm going for. Let me know what you guys think about it. Probably Vardy getting on the score sheet for them. So I'm going for 2-1 United. Sure, I'm looking at it in a positive light. If we're going on the form guide, then, and the injury problems United have got, then, Leicester City probably are the more likely to win this game right now, even if they're away. We got a comment here from Sean Edwards. Thank you very much for your comment and getting in here, Sean. He comments, Vardy would be epic for United, pure striker. Absolutely, yeah, he is that sort of a pure striker, really. He's physical enough. He's very quick. He's a great finisher, great eye for goal, intelligent in terms of finding teammates and things like that. Absolutely, I would like to have Jamie Vardy at Manchester United right now, which is, it's not beyond the realms of possibility for the future, but obviously he is a Leicester man, and maybe United right now, we should be looking for younger players to develop, but Vardy's definitely a fantastic player that would pretty much walk into United's team right now. I think we can all agree on that. Look, I know Martial's got the potential in that position to do it for us, but he's not had the longevity that Jamie Vardy has. Jamie Vardy's proven the only reason, or not the only reason, that's stupid, but a big reason that they won the Premier League that year is because of Jamie Vardy and Jamie Vardy's ability to put the ball in the back of the net. Now, I know he had Okazaki with him, and I know, Schmeichel and everything. They've all performed that season. It was a crazy season, but Vardy was a huge part of that, wasn't he? Great comment, Sean. Thank you. Archie comments, Vardy will love Maguire and Lindelof. Yeah, I think you're right there, Archie. That's the problem with United at the moment, especially if you factor in no Wan-Bissaka and you factor in no Luke Shaw, which could potentially be happening this weekend. We could have Ashley Young, we could have Phil Jones at right back. Who really knows? But if you're looking at that back line, man, let's just imagine worst case scenario. It's this, okay? You've got Ashley Young, you've got Maguire, you've got Lindelof, and then you've got Phil Jones right back. Let's just imagine that as the worst case scenario. Now, Jamie Vardy, Leicester City, they'll be looking at that lineup and absolutely licking their lips at the prospect of getting at those lads, because they do have errors in them. Lindelof's shown that last couple of games. They do have errors in them. Ashley Young, I mean, he's aging. He's not terrible. He's a good backup, but that's about it. And then Phil Jones, crikey, don't even get me started on Phil No Bones Jones. So I do think that is our biggest problem at the moment. The defence, Leicester will be looking to exploit it. Vardy will be looking to exploit it. Russ McGarry comments, Vardy is too good for MUFC. Calm down, buddy. Let's not get carried away now. Ilya United comments, Maguire will lock out Vardy. LOLs. I think that's what you said. Anyway, let's see. I mean, I hope that is the case. Maguire did make an error in his last England performance, giving a penalty away with a rash lunge in there. He's not looked 100% solid for United, but what I'd say about Maguire is he's proven over the last year or two for Leicester City in the Premier League. He's proven for England over that same period. It's going to take a little bit of time to come into United and get to grips with how we do things and the different defending style and different teammates and tactics and things like that. You have to take that into consideration. Bearing all that in mind, I think he's done a decent job. Now, will he pocket Jamie Vardy? I mean, Maguire's, he's mobile, but he's not known for his pace. Jamie Vardy's known for his pace. It's going to be an interesting battle to see who comes out on top of that one. The biggest thing for Maguire is his positioning ability. It's his defending set pieces and things like that. That is what he adds to Manchester United that we were lacking previously. So, hopefully he does do that. Comment here from Phyllis's Big Blue Rabbit, who comments, Hi Pig, has the LCFC game now become more important than it should have been? Is it already a must-win game? Very, very good question there from a Man City supporter. Thank you very much for getting in here, Phyllis. I mean, to answer your question, I really do believe it's way more important than it should have been. Really, we've had a bit of an unlucky start to the campaign. I know we weren't good enough to get any of the results that we should have done, but Pogba's missed a penalty, Rashi's missed a penalty. We have had some instances in games which gone a different way. Maybe we could have won those games. But because we didn't, now we're in the situation. We are down in 8th place. Leicester in 3rd place. If we don't beat Leicester, if we don't get the 3 points against Leicester, we are going to be festering in the mid-table, man. Festering. And that only invites pressure. It only invites negative doubt and thoughts into the fans and the dressing room and the team and the players and the coach and the board and everybody. We don't need that this early on in the season. So a win against Leicester City right now is way more important than it should have been, really. Because at this stage, we should have acquired more points. We haven't done that. We're in a poor bit of form. We've got some stuff to prove. We've got injury problems. It is hugely important that we win this game. It's a must-win game. I do truly believe that. And I know, it's only one game this season, but it's must-win for United right now. This is the difference between us getting back on track and maybe having a stab at top 4, which is looking less likely. Maybe if we strengthen in January. Or it's the difference between us potentially finishing mid-table, maybe only going to get sacked somewhere down the line in the future, later on in the season. We've got to start turning things around, and Leicester City is the opportunity to do that. Thank Thanks to everybody who's getting in here with comments and stuff, by the way. You're a bunch of legends. I'm going to go down to the bottom here, so get your comments in now. The reason I'm doing that is because I always do this. I always read out comments and they're like right at the top. And they're not on the screen here. In the live chat box, as you can see over there, there is comments coming through. And I'll read the ones now, so get them in the comment section, because then everybody can see what you're commenting, and it's not like I'm just reading old comments from ages ago. Alex Rudd, how you doing, mate? Comments, thin squad will be the downfall this year. Very well said, mate. I mean, yes, I think that is the biggest problem. We didn't strengthen in the window. We didn't get the necessary improvements in key positions. I mean, just imagine this. 3 players short, I think we were in the window. Sure, we improved at the back then. We got Daniel James, and that's great, and he looks great. But we're a few players short. We should have got a striker. Now, who is another question, but we're talking about, you know, Mandzukic, or even people were saying Llorente on a free transfer. I mean, I'm not sure if they're right, but somebody else. Somebody who could come in there and be a backup option, or can go and take the mantle and take it off Marcio and be that striker for us, who knows. That's what we needed. We also needed a creative midfielder. Bruno Fernandes was touted, but somebody like him, somebody like James Maddison, Christian Eriksen, just those types of players, somebody like that in the centre of the park to create for United, because creating has been a big problem for United over the last few games since the season started, really. And then also, I think on the right-hand side of the pitch, we're looking a little bit light there. When you factor in, you know, Alexis Sanchez is gone. Juan Mata's not a wide player, really. Shouldn't be played there. You know, Jesse Lingard's injured at the moment. Has been shit and is, you know, doesn't really play there anyway. You could play Rashford there, sure. You could play James there, sure. But James has looked better on the left. Rashford has looked better on the left. So what do you do there? Somebody's going to have to be slightly out of sorts there. So maybe getting somebody... I know it's easy to say this, but somebody like Jadon Sancho, 19 years of age, does look very, very good. Has a great future ahead of him, homegrown, you know, all that sort of stuff. Those 3 players, just imagine we had those 3 players, United squad would be looking a lot better right now, in both in terms of just quality in the starting 11, but also in terms of depth to cover injury problems and injury crises and things like that. We've had a nightmare. We've had a double bloody daymare, lads and lasses. Sort your bloody life out of the board. Get them in January. There's no excuses now. Ole Gunnar's going to have to do this with a skeleton squad. They've not made it easy for him. Comment here from Timothy. Comments, Mason would be needed for free kick and corners. Yeah, I mean, look, Mason Greenwood, we need to see the lad. We need to see more from him. I'm surprised we haven't. I'm surprised Ole Gunnar's not started him at least one of those games. And he's been like teasing him as well. Do you know what I mean? Like before the Chelsea game, I remember after the good pre-season that Mason Greenwood had, Ole Gunnar said in a press conference, you know, Mason Greenwood's in the line. He's in with a shout of starting in that Chelsea game, first game of the season. Did he? No. Has he started a game since? No. So I want to see Mason Greenwood. I do. I think he's got bags of talent. He showed that with the quality goal that he scored in pre-season and some of his play throughout. I think he's brilliant. Same thing goes for Angel Gomez. Same thing goes for Chong, Garner, these young lads, Twanzebe. There's no excuses right now with the lack of depth, with the lack of quality, with the lack of fit players that we've got, because a lot of them are out with injuries and stuff at the moment. There's no excuses, you know, not to play these guys. So I hope Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does do that. We've got a comment here from Skunky Monkey, who comments, no one fears coming to Old Trafford anymore. A fortress. Roll over laughing face. More like a Fisher-Price playhouse. Mate, that is just unacceptable, Skunky Monkey. No, fair enough. Nice bit of banter there, mate. I mean, look, I can't disagree with you. Nobody does fear United like they used to. Look at the Fergie days coming to Old Trafford. It was a nightmare for opposition teams. They didn't want to do that. You know, and coming up against United at any time was difficult for a team back in the day. We had that fear factor. A lot of those games were won before we'd even got out on the pitch, because players were that intimidated coming up against the well-oiled machine that was Manchester United, that, you know, it was almost over before it began. Unfortunately now, that fear factor is gone. It doesn't exist. It's dissolved. We don't have the ability to strike fear into an opposition beforehand, especially when you're looking at our team, man. Forget the club, forget the red shirt, forget all that stuff. Look at the team, look at the back line. Gashley Young, freaking Lindelof, Maguire, and potentially Phil Jones starting on Saturday. I mean, that's not going to strike fear into anybody, is it? They'll be licking their lips at the prospect of coming up against that. Thanks for your comment, though, Skunky. Comment from Ian77900 comments, Mr. Flying Pig, love your channel, lots of great content and love your match reactions. Thank you very much, Ian, much appreciated, buddy. He says, hope Greenwood starts versus Leicester. It's the spark we need right now. Keep it up. Cheers from Canada. Thank you very much for you, eh? Appreciate you getting in here, eh? No, you're a legend, Ian. Yeah, I think Greenwood's needs to be starting now. He needs to be given the opportunity because I think he could step up. He's got quality. We've seen that. We've seen him score in games against good opposition in pre-season. He's got ability. Why don't we start Mason Greenwood? He's 17. Why? We could have another Rashford situation. Remember when Louis van Gaal chucked Rashford in just out of necessity, injury problems? But Rashford, man, he scored and then he kept scoring and he came on and he really had a good season, that first breakout season that he had for a young 18-year-old lad. The same thing could happen to Greenwood. We could just discover the next Michael Owen or the next Wayne Rooney. The only way that's really going to happen is if he gets the game time and he gets an opportunity to play. Because nobody, I'm sorry, would have predicted that Rashford would have been such an important player for us that season before the season started. You're lying if you think that. Yeah, you might have said, we've got this young lad in the under-18s, he's really good young talent, got a lot of prospect, but nobody would have expected him to really come in there and have the impact he did. So I think Greenwood can do that, I really do. I also think players like Angel Gomez and Chong, they're ready to step up and do the business for us now. So there's no excuses, play the youth. Mohammed Aswan comments, Ollie will play counter-attacking against Leicester, probably can win it. Ollie's tactics cannot beat defensive team. This will be a good match. You make some interesting points, because if you look at the way Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's gone about it with United and the way we've played against teams that sit back and get a lot of numbers behind the ball, you're right, we don't have the creativity to cut them open. We just don't. We find it very difficult to break teams down. Now, Leicester City, what are they going to be doing, though? Coming to Old Trafford, what will they be doing? They know how to play great counter-attacking football. They've got the tools to do that with Vardy up top there. They'll be looking to do that too. So what happens if we're both just sitting back looking to play counter-attacking football? I think, although you might be right, and that probably is the best tactic, United have got to get out. We've got to try and create. It's at Old Trafford. We're at home. We're kind of up against it. We've got to try and win this game. And I know you don't want to go at them and have our defensive vulnerabilities exposed on the counter by Leicester. We're very good at that. But at the same time, we can't sit back and not create enough, because I think Leicester are going to be doing that. I think they're going to be sitting back and trying to frustrate us and trying to hit us on the counter. Thank you for your comment there, buddy. Comment from Maximilian7. He comments, as fans, we must lower our expectations this season. Just want to see Ollie form a style of play. Don't care if we finish 15th at the end of the season. I don't see a defined style of play Ollie should walk. Maximilian7, fair play to you, lad. I mean, that is probably a really good attitude to have right now. Rome was not built in a day. Look at Sir Alex when he first came in. I know it's a different era, but it took him a long time to get this United side successful. Jose was trying to be a quick fix. Louis van Gaal is trying to be a quick fix. We don't need that. We need to plan for the future. We need somebody who we believe in and who shows the right stuff out there on the pitch. And what I mean by that is being progressive, giving young players the opportunities, being progressive with the tactics of style that we're playing. United should be looking to entertain. We should be looking to win, of course, but we should always be looking to try and do those things. The great Sir Alex Ferguson, he said, I never played for a draw in my life. And it's basically true. We always used to go out there and try and win and get at teams and score goals and entertain the fans, especially at Old Trafford. So 100%, I think you're right. I think we've got to start doing that anyway. Comment here from Ivan Radosavljevic. I hope I said that correctly. I know I didn't. But he commented and said, dude, we are becoming a joke. Extended Lingard's contract, joke. Well, look, Lingard is not a fantastic player for Manchester United recently, but over the years he has been a decent servant. What are you saying he's had this contract extended? Is this a recent breaking news thing that I'm talking about here? But anyway, I mean, look, he's not the best player in the world for United, but look at his contribution over the years. He has come up with important goals here and there. He's actually an okay squad player. Look, I know he's in terrible form going back all the way into last year. Terrible form. But used correctly, used in the right games, used as a substitute, used as a squad player, he's a useful player to have around. But that's about it for me. It's the Ashley Young scenario again. He's useful to have around as a backup, but he shouldn't be starting games out there. He doesn't have the raw ability to really hurt teams, I don't think. He can't create. Yeah, he might be a good presser. He might be good when he comes up against the likes of City and Liverpool to try and win the ball back and, high up the pitch. But in terms of actual creation, no, mate. I'd rather see Pogba played in that position or Gomez or Chong or Mata. Absolutely. And I'd rather see, somebody else play in the holding midfield roles, because I don't think Pogba's best position's there either. Clam J, how you doing? We can't let Sweet Cheeks Brenda get one up on us, for God's sake. Great company, Brendan Rodgers, that old foe of ours, that old adversary. He was a wonderful technician. My name's Brendan Rodgers. No, we can't lose to Brendan Rodgers, okay? We've got to beat them just for the fact that we are struggling at the moment and we need the 3 points. That's the main thing. There's so much more pressure on us than there should be right now. The previous commenter I responded to earlier, he's right. This game is way more important than it should have been. There's way much more need and emphasis to win this game than there should have been. So United have got to go and do that. I'm just going to answer a couple more comments, guys. I just can't believe that 35 minutes has gone by on the live stream. I've got to get on, but I wanted to jump on here, give you my thoughts and opinions on the upcoming Leicester City game and how we're faring, injury problems, the squad, Oli Gunner, that sort of thing. I've loved interacting with you guys. Get your comments in briefly before I go now, and I'll answer a couple more before I go. But like I say, smash a like on it, subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'm 100% going to be doing a live stream match companion watch along for the game on Saturday. And like I say, I'll try and get some sort of a little fire in my booth fire in the room wrap out for the Leicester City game beforehand, but don't hold me to it because it's going to be a bit tricky. iPoddy24, how you doing? Comments. If we are to succeed, we need to sell our pubes for more money. We're selling ourselves short at the moment. Sell our pubes? Sell our pubes? Sell our pubes? I mean, what are you talking about here, iPoddy24? Selling our useless players? Is that what you mean? I mean, look. People like Pogba can generate serious amounts of cash. He's a great player, but he's not done it consistently for United, so we could probably spend that money elsewhere if that's what you're saying. Gungshi's in the house here as well. How you doing, Gungshi? Comments, bloody hell, just noticed you're on. That's absolutely fine, Gungshi. You know, we're used to you being a late starter here. No, actually, you're usually an eager beaver. But it's a bit of a random video for me today. I only sort of scheduled it like 15 minutes before coming on. So I'm just glad that there's some people in here watching, including yourself, Gungshi. So thanks to everybody who has stopped by on the match preview today. No, I haven't quite got the level of content out this last few days that I was doing the last couple of weeks, but that's going to be going back to daily content. What I'm trying to do is get 2 videos out a day. Now, there's only going to be 1 today, so I'm actually talking bollocks here. Probably just 1 video a day, but I want to get at least 1 video out a day, 2 Sundays if I can, because, you know, I love doing these videos, and I really appreciate everyone who watches these and comments along. Gungshi has super chatted. Thank you very much, Gungshi, mate. He says, as Brenda would say, we must show great character. We must show great character. I believe Pogba is a fantastic technician. Anyway, hi 9 Brian Coy. My name's Brendan Rodgers. Thank you very much for your comment there, Gungshi. Yeah, I mean, I do think you're right. We've got to show character. We've got to show quality. We've got to show hunger and desire. Give it the young lads. Give it the young lads to prove something, because they actually have got something to prove. They're not just collecting their 300k a week and get the next haircut. They're not just sitting on the bench injured at the moment. They've got stuff to prove. They've got a desire to be top-level footballers. So give them the opportunity, because you'll get more out of them than you will some of these festering, overpaid players we've got currently in the squad. That's my opinion anyway. People like Jesse Lingard shouldn't be anywhere near the side. I'm glad he's injured. Sorry, I said it there. It's horrible. I should be saying that about our own players, but it forces Ole Gunnar to select someone else, and that is something that I like right now, because if he was fit, he'd have probably kept him. He'd have probably selected him again. Timothy comments, great show. Love the energy. Love your comment there, Timothy. Thank you very much for getting in there. We got a comment from Ilya United, Man United, I don't know what you're saying there. So, I think you're talking about the head-to-head over the years. Manchester United versus Liverpool, 66-61. Don't know what you're talking about. Ultra67 Flying Pig, how long have you loved this great club? Well, I was born into a Manchester United family in 1987. So, from then, really, but from when I can really remember supporting United, it's probably 92-93 season. That's when I remember it. You know, Brucey, Pallister, all these, you know, that's when I really started to be aware of Manchester United. But I've always loved Manchester United. My hero growing up as a child, well, I had 2 heroes. It was Ryan Giggs and Eric Cantona. And not much has changed. Right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you very much for getting in here with your comments. I'll just read the last 2 or 3 comments that come out. Desmond Mawunyo comments, I'm sure United will win the match, no sweat, but what happened to Fred? Gungshi also says, where the hell is Fred these days? Yeah, very good comments there. He's got to play too. I haven't mentioned him in this video. He's got to play. He's not been playing. We haven't seen anything from him. We spent a combined something like £50 million on Fred. Why are we not seeing him play? He can't do any worse than Pogba and McTominay's done in that sort of two in midfield recently. So why doesn't he play? I 100% hope he plays. Fred and McTominay in there, perhaps. Maybe Angel Gomez in front of them. If not that, maybe Garner and Fred. Something, just mix it up, change it up. Let's see what these young lads can do. Let's see what Fred can do. I know he's not young, but he's come in there to be a to be a key player for United, or at least a first team player. You don't spend that sort of money on a player if we're not going to feature him, and we've not featured him. So I think Ole Gunnar needs to give him an opportunity too. Right, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. Thanks to everybody who's tuned in for this live match preview for the Leicester game on Saturday. If I've not responded to you, understand that I wanted to, but come back after this video has been published in a couple of minutes and get your thoughts and comments in the not live comments, and I'll respond to them in due course. Chat amongst yourselves, get your predictions for the game in also. My prediction is a 2-1 win for United. I know it's bold, whatever, but that's what I'm going for. I'm positive, okay? If we're looking at the form, if we're looking at injuries, you know. But I don't want to say that. We're going to win the game 2-1. Come on, United, let's freaking have them on Saturday. We're going to batter the Foxes. Let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions in the comment section afterwards. Everybody who's tuned in, you're a bunch of legends. Like, subscribe, comment. Follow me on social media at Mr. Flying Pig HD if you're that way inclined, and you can also badger me on there too. But anyway, I'll see you very, very soon. Hopefully there'll be a wrap preview coming out before the Leicester game. If not, I'll see you sharpish for the watch along on Saturday. Come on, United, have yourselves a good one. Take it easy. You've been watching The Pig on Flying Pig United. You stay classy.